Hi, my friends. Happy Saturday and welcome to another Chit Chat live from East Texas. I am DC, your host, and I am super excited you guys are joining me today. This is celebration weekend for me. So we're going to jump in. I'm going to give you so much stuff to talk about, so much stuff to think about. I am thrilled. So before we started, if you are new joining us and this is the first time you're joining this show, just let me give you a little background. I started this series because I really wanted to empower people. I wanted to empower creative individuals who were feeling stuck in their lives and their careers to transition to more fulfilling lifestyle. One of the things I wanted to do was to give everybody practical advice. I wanted to give you some tools. I wanted to give you some tips. I wanted to give you some stuff to help you transition. Above all, I wanted to motivate you and inspire you and to let you know that you're meant to live an amazing life, that you're meant to live your best life now. So this is what this series is all about. This is what the Chit Chat's all about. We've been doing this for over a year, which is a little amazing and scary. And today we're going to have a huge book celebration that ties everything that I have done in this series together. So before I jump in, let me give you kind of my disclaimers for the day. Hopefully you enjoyed. Give this show a like because we're going to talk about my new book, Dare to Love. So come on. I'm going to put a plug in there. Dare to Love. Give me some love. Share this episode with anybody you like. Invite them to join our community. Remember, we're always better when we grow together. So invite them to join us. And we're going to get started because today, I want to say today, this weekend, yesterday, my brand new book dropped. So every time I say that, I feel like a rap artist. So that's kind of why I keep saying it. It's the closest thing I'm going to get to the music industry. I have a brand new release and it's kind of exciting and it's kind of new. So Dare to Love, and I'm going to put it on the screen for you guys. Dare to Love is out. It is insane. It is probably even more crazy for me specifically because it's been 9 months since the release of my last book, which was also a devotional. So let me give you a little bit of background. So if you're going, DC, you write devotionals? Technically, yes. Technically, I'm an urban fantasy writer. I do a little bit of everything. I'm that kid who's totally ADD with a touch OCD, and I just like to do everything. So celebration weekend, so let's do it. Woo! I have my own little happy dance this week. Everywhere you see me, just because it's exciting. It is exciting to have a new project. It is exciting to come up with, to watch it come to fruition, to have it created. So this is kind of the fun part about it that I want to share with you guys. So at any point in time, you guys have any questions, you have any concerns, put it in the comments because I'm going to be looking at it. If you're watching the replay, whether you're watching it here or you're watching it on YouTube, still put a comment in there. I'll go back throughout the week and check it out, see how I can answer. If you have a question you don't feel comfortable writing on the comments, send me a private message. Put it on my page. This is what I'm here for. I will love to hear from you. I will love to talk. So what are all the devotionals about? So let me give you the background, that kind of weird story of how it all started and where it came to be. So last year, I was in the middle of the series, and one idea, this crazy idea came about that said, I should do a companion book to go with the series. Everybody kind of likes to have things tactile. You know, I'm a very tactile kind of person. So I thought this would be a great idea. No idea, no inclination where this came from. And I thought, okay, I could do a devotional. Here's the thing. At the time, I was in the middle of drafting Cat Lady 2, which I'm still trying to work on that. I do urban fantasies. I write about demons and witches, and I do all sorts of fantasy-oriented books, and some children's books. I'm going to move this to the side because it's attacking me. So with that in mind, this idea was crazy. This idea was out of the blue. Where did it come from? Obviously not from me because it was not in my plans. So I thought, oh, that would make a really cute Christmas present. Okay, we'll put it in the back burner. If you ever had a conversation with God, whichever religion you are, I tend to define myself as a very spiritual being who believes in Jesus. That's kind of how I see it. So I believe in conversations. I believe in conversations with your higher power, whether you're a Christian, whether you're a Buddhist, whatever denomination you are, we all have our own relationships. So the devotionals are not meant to try to convince you to change your denomination. That's not the intent of them. I did use the Bible because it's the document that I prefer. It is my choice of information. That's kind of the one I like. You can use any document to help you, believe it or not. So whatever you're comfortable with. The fun part about it is that it just kind of happened. So I had this conversation, and I believe in impressions. I believe the Lord talks to me in different ways. I'm also not the kid that does things an easy way. So when those conversations happen, some people, God can tap them and they just change their ways and then go off and do amazing things. It takes a whipping in my part. And everybody jokes, the people that know me, because I'm kind of stubborn. As you can tell, I am stubborn, I'm persistent, and I'm going to stick to these ways. And sometimes he has to drag me through the coals. And there's days that I'm being dragged through the coals and he will ask, are you ready to change? Like, no. I'm still going to do it my way. And I'm still dragged through coals. So if you're feeling that pain, you're not the only one. I've been there. That was the conversation. I felt the Lord tell me, you can do a book in 3 months and I got to wait 6 for this devotional. And I was like, ooh, because when he speaks to us, if you believe he speaks to you, it's never sweet and kind, especially if you go in the wrong way. It's kind of the truth that hurts in your gut. And you're like, oh, that was kind of low. Do we have to go there? That was that conversation. And I thought, okay, well, I guess I can think about it. How hard can this be? The next thing that came to me is, and I had to ask myself, and it was one of those questions that truly changed how I define myself, because I define myself. I put myself in a box, and I don't know if we all do this. We all have ways of redefining who we are and getting stuck there, not because we have to, but because we chose to. So I had to come in to decide, do I want to be known as a Christian author? And this is the thing. Everybody's like, well, everybody knows you're Christian. Okay. But did I want to be defined as that? Did I want my books to be put in that category? Is that really what I wanted to be? Because I write in many different genres. What is the Christian community going to think when they see the rest of my books? That's the question. Because I write books that are authentic to whatever that story wants to tell. And they're fun and they're exciting. And that might be a tad bit controversial. What did that meant? So here's that conversation, because we're still having conversations with yourselves. If you ever read the book Conversations with God, when the book came out, it was a little bit controversial because he said he was having talks with God. One of the sentences that always sticks in my mind, one of his passages, is that he's asking the Lord, like, is this really real or is it in my mind? And the Lord replies, does it make a difference? That was those conversations. So I'm sitting here having those conversations with myself. And I remember very clearly having the impression of the Lord replying, or Jesus, okay, if you deny me to men, then I'm going to deny you to my Father. And I really went, ooh, really? Do we have to go there? Is that necessary? Does it have to go that low? Because at the end of the day, I believe in being authentic. And I believe in having authentic discussions in our writing and our careers and where we want it to be. So after many crazy discussions with myself and the Lord and what that meant and what it meant to write these things, I finally said, okay, fine, let's do this. We're going to write this devotional. I don't know if I'm qualified to write a devotional because this, we talked about fears, my friends. We have talked about what people say, what people are not going to say. We have talked a lot about this throughout the last year. What is it that we're doing and who do we do it for? Because my thing is, those fears and those voices come in. Am I truly qualified to write a devotional? Oh my God. Do you understand how hard it is to question ourselves? Because that question alone almost stopped this entire mission, this entire project. Who am I to decide to write a devotional? Am I even remotely resembling anything? So here's what reality had to be. Because I'm writing a devotional, it's called Dare to Believe. And I'm asking myself, do I believe? Am I good enough? How many of us have asked that question? Am I good enough to take this leap? Am I meant to do this? Am I good enough to create? How many of us have dealt with the imposter syndrome? The fact that we're doing something and we believe they figured out that we're not good enough, then they're going to kick us out of the tribe, whatever the tribe might be. Just think about it that way. Those are those conversations that went through my mind over and over. And here's the part. My first encounter with the Lord was not in a church. It wasn't praying. It wasn't having the spiritual conversion. It wasn't anywhere but in a battlefield. I was deployed to Iraq. I was literally strapped to a rifle, ready to go and protect whatever needed to mend with bullets. How truly of a good of a person am I to have that? Am I really meant to write this book? And I honestly asked, I'm like, me? You want me to do what? Yes, I had one of those Moses moments, by the way. That's kind of what the book's all about. I had to question if I'm meant to do those things. And that's kind of what the book's all Dare to Believe is me opening that soul. It is opening raw. It is completely as raw as you can imagine because I had to be authentic and tell you the truth. So I found the Lord, or the Lord found me, let's be more specific, because I'm pretty sure he wasn't lost. I was in Iraq in the desert. We got mortar. Incoming comes in. And it wasn't like everybody says when, those life death encounters, your life flashes before your eyes. Nothing flashed. Nothing happened like that. Instead, the entire world slowed down. I felt like I was watching my life in a really slow moment from outside. I found myself talking to myself. And instead of having panic and fear, instead of feeling overwhelmed as the impact cover, we get covered in sand. I have a friend hit the floor. And I'm still standing there, just watching this scenario. And it might have been a few seconds, a minute, whatever. I found myself telling myself, like, maybe you should hit the floor because something's happening. But the strangest situations, I felt like I was being hugged. I felt like I was covered in love. I felt protected. I felt safe. And for the first time, as an adult specifically, I knew there was a God. And I knew that he loved me. And I couldn't figure out why. I was like, I'm not this good a kid. I don't know why. Trust me. And I didn't go, it wasn't like I had that encounter and then I went to church. No, I went on my day. I went on a convoy. I continued to do my everyday life. But I knew in the back of my mind that the God was real. That the Lord was real. That he loved me. And it didn't matter what I did or said, he was still going to love me. That became a true impression. And it became something that was real. So when Dare to Believe came out, it was that true impression of, can you believe in yourself? Can you believe that he loves you? You don't have to be perfect. We're not meant to be perfect. We're not. We're a bunch of little kids have just happened to grown up. And as we get older, we get a little bit wiser, but we're still his kids. And he still loves us. Let's put it out there. Dare to Believe was supposed to give you that. Help you to see yourself as where we're at and from the eyes of God, because he didn't make a mistake. So as the transition goes on, I'm like, okay, we're going to do this, whatever this might be. So fast forward a couple of months and I realized I'm asking people to take leaps of faith. I'm asking people to do a lot of things. But a lot of the things that is holding us back, it's not our abilities, it might not be our beliefs. It's kind of the pain that we carry in our souls. And a lot of the pain happens to be with forgiveness. One of my mentors, who was Paul Martinelli, wrote a companion book to Think and Grow Rich. And the chapters that he talks about happens to be forgiveness, love, and tithing. He truly says if we don't come to terms with these things, it is extremely hard for us to move. Think about it, my friends. You are not going to be successful in any part of your life if another part is missing, because they're going to have to be tied together. So when it comes to forgiveness, it's a hard thing to do. Let me give you the reality. Many of us, believe it or not, we're going back to belief, hold grudges. And some people hold grudges for eternity. You're going, you remember what somebody did to you 30 years ago? I'm having issues with 30 days. Let's be honest. I have a packed schedule. I don't have enough time to remember all that. But people do. And you're holding a grudge. And the grudge is not against the other person, because they don't even know. You're holding hate and discontent in your soul that is keeping you stuck. There's people that go out of their way to avoid somebody because they think they have done them wrong. And they probably have. But how much can you hold on to that? So Dare to Forgive came out. And here's the one thing I realized in every one of those books. It's not enough for me to tell you to forgive somebody. It's not enough for me to tell you that the Lord loves you and wants you to forgive yourself. Can you forgive that? Can you look at yourself and say, okay, I didn't do the best that I could. I did the best that I could at the time that with the skills and abilities that I had. But can I truly let go and actually move on? This is what it's all about. Can I forgive myself? Can I know in my soul that I'm okay? And forgiveness, here's the part most people, most of my friends have a hard time. When you say you forgive yourself, when you say you forgive others, you gotta let it go. You can't bring it back. I joke with my mother all the time because she's like, yep, I'll forgive you. She's the only person that I know, and because she's my mother, she can get away with it, that can tell me what I done wrong, 10 years ago. And I'd be like, how do you remember that? How is that possible? But she's my mother. She has, those impressions of raising kids that she's okay. But a lot of people, you can think of your partner, you can think of your friends. They have said they've forgiven you. But the moment you get in a fight, all that stuff gets brought back. It's like this baggage. All that comes back up. And is it really let go? It hasn't. We have not moved on. So forgiveness is about letting go. It doesn't mean you have to forget. That's not what I'm talking about. Most people get the two confused. That's not the case. Forgiveness is letting go of that pain, is letting go of the hate, is letting go of that discontent that is keeping you stuck. Because if you're always looking over your shoulder and you create the sensation that somebody owes you something, then you develop a victim mentality. You develop that mentality that the world's not right, the world's not fair, and it's not. But the world is not wrong. The world doesn't hate you. But if you believe that, your entire perception is going to get clouded by that mirror. Your entire perception, absolutely, is going to be clouded by those emotions, and you're not going to be able to live to your full, life and given dreams that you're meant to be. The Lord is never going to give you a dream. He's never going to give you, absolutely, a goal if He doesn't give you the resources to actually do it. Ever. This is something that's not going to happen. So, here comes the next part. So we got dare to believe, dare to forgive, and it didn't feel complete. Something was missing. And by the way, I'm reading the comments so far and I'm absolutely loving it because it's perfect. So I got some inspiration. I got some amens. Thank you. And Doug's just kind of put it all together. He's loving you every single moment because this is what the next devotional is all about, is dare to love. And I have amazing editors who are working their butts off to keep me straight because I need as much help as you can imagine. And I have the best comment. They're like, this is a tough one. This book hits home. And she said, chapter 3 was the hardest. And I'm like, ooh, because it's about loving yourself. So here's the entire collection. So let's put it all together. By the way, my brother was here helping me out. So it's amazing. And he kind of said, hey, I like the covers. So it's kind of fun. Dare to believe, dare to forgive, dare to love. And yes, I'm still reading the comments, which I'm super, super excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, forgiveness is hard. I'm sorry. It is not going to be easy and it doesn't come natural. We are little kids pretending to be adults sometimes. And it feels good to be mad. It feels good to be angry. The flesh loves it. It kind of gives us this power. Like, we're holding something over people. Yeah, it's hard, but it hurts. And it hurts at a deeper level. And you judge everything we do based on not forgiving and what others have done. So when it was time to put Dare to Love, and Dare to Love, like I said, dropped yesterday. So Happy Dance over here again. It is available in ebooks, available in print, which is awesome. But this book, like devotionals it had to be personal. And I had to open up and I had to be real with you guys. Love, if you believe it, let's put it out there, is the most powerful force in the universe. Napoleon Hill says in Think and Grow Rich, because you all know I love this book, says that the most powerful force happens to be sex. When combined with love, it will make any man and woman unstoppable. Why? What are you willing to do for the person you love? Just put it out there. What are you willing to do? If you're a parent, what are you willing to do for your kids? What are you doing for your grandbabies? What are you willing to do for the person that has that space in your heart? Regardless how many times they have done wrong, you will forgive them. Regardless how many times they break your heart, you're willing to forgive, you're willing to believe, you're willing to do that because we're created in our essence and in our souls, because the Lord is love. We are created in His image to love at that passion. The problem is, love is supposed to be unconditional. Many of us do not know what that means. It hasn't been modeled, it hasn't been seen, it hasn't been heard. Conditions are easy. Think of little kids. They're raised and learn from a very early age that people are going to love you if you're a good boy or a good girl. We put this good and bad terms into kids and confuse them for the rest of their lives. Then we wonder why they have issues. We're going to love you if you have a good grades, if you do good in school, if you don't get in trouble, if. Those are conditions. Same thing with spouses and same things with partners, same things with everything else. We're going to love you as long as you're good to me. As long as you don't cheat, as long as you don't lie, and by the way, you will think if you love somebody, you wouldn't do those things. Yes, that's probably true, but people do make mistakes and people do fall and people do trip. But can we truly love without conditions? That's the question. So, Dare to Love dropped and let me give you the breakdown of how devotionals, at least for me, work. I'm the kid. And there is a book jail that I'm sure I'm going to be attending pretty soon because I like to write in my books. I'm the person who makes little lines. I like to highlight. I do all those things. And since I I figure other people might like it too, so I'm going to give you permission. So all the books have reflection pages. I don't know if you guys can see it. Nope, you cannot see it all because my lights are super bright. I apologize. What I've done is I will give you a scripture. Love scriptures, one of my favorite things, probably why I write devotionals. Scriptures it will give you a little reflection of the scripture for the day, and then I'll give you pages to write on. That's kind of the fun part. So you have a space in the book, then you can write. Every single day is literally a 7 to 10 minute devotional piece. It is your time. It is a form of your meditation to be in peace with you, to be at ease with you, to be one-on-one with you. Some of the days is a little tougher than others because I want you to think about it. It is 28 days. All three have the same format. Each week we cover a different thing. So you have a topic for the week. Then each day has a different scriptures. And then at the end of the week, you get a reflection time. And then you spend those 28 days with you. So you can pick it at any time. You can start at any journey you want. And by the way, the books don't have to go in order. This is the only reason it says 1 and 2 and 3 is because Amazon makes you have like a 1, 2, and 3. There's no order specifically. It's whichever one hits your soul. The one thing is if you started from the belief, then you kind of find my journey as well. So I'll give you a little bit more. But Dare to Love is here. Dare to Love is, do you truly believe in love? So what I've done with week 1 that is a little different, we spent the entire 7 days discussing Corinthians, and specifically that scripture that everybody knows because it's in every single wedding vows about love is patient, love is kind. It is St. Paul's talking to the people of Corinthians. So I hate to bust the bubble for most people who think he wrote this as the wedding vows. It was not. His intention was never that. He wrote it, and when St. Paul put it all together, truly his intentions were to address a community, because this is what happens, and most people kind of miss it. Jesus, if you believe in him, came down to show people how to love. So as a race, the human race, the human beings, whatever you want to call us, even back 2,000 years ago, we were still struggling with the basic things, love. Even during that entire time, people were still having a hard time loving themselves, loving each other, understanding love, understanding all those things you can possibly imagine. So if the Lord comes down to teach them, then he becomes love himself. So Paul is trying to explain this. And Paul, for those of you who follow along, it's one of those apostles that I would love to be like because he's passionate about everything. Paul is amazing because he was passionate about crucifying the Christian as he was as passionate as defending it. Whichever way he took it, he was going to take it all away. And Paul wrote over half of the New Testament. So when you're thinking about it, he was passionate and he wrote it most from jail. He's that passionate. He's going to take his love and strength for what he believes in to the ultimate degree. He's going to stick by his convictions. One of the amazing things about it is that he breaks down this passage to people who completely had transition. For the ones who, I always believe that if you're going to follow the Bible, do a little research of where the content took place. Because then the scriptures start making more sense. It's not enough just to read them. You have to know a little bit of the background. So the Corinthians were a seafaring port. Some of the people were a little wild, if you want to put it that way. So you have a community that transitioned to becoming Christian, and they didn't understand it. So they were competing with each other. They were having battles. They were like little kids telling on each other. Who was more Christian than the other? What can you do better? So one of the things Paul had to break down in his letter is what it means to love somebody. What it means to love thyself in that community. Not in the romantic sense that we always think, purely and simple as a human being. Because if we're truly loving ourselves and others, what does it mean? It takes time. Remember when they asked Jesus, if you're a Christian and you read this passage in the Bible, how many times can you forgive? 7, a whole bunch of times. Can we do that? How much patience do we have? I say I'm a very impatient person. I'm actually very patient. I should choose not to. I'm extremely patient when I want to be, so I know it's a choice. Love is one of those things. How do you fall in love with people? You love them. How do you forgive people? You forgive them. It becomes an act. It's something you do. It becomes an action verb that you happen to be. So for week 1, we talk all about the scripture because I love it. It is fun. It is exciting. And I'm going to give you some tips about it throughout. I'm going to give you some reflection. We talk about loving others. And here's the scriptures that says, the best, how truly do you love somebody? The ultimate form of love is to give your life for other people. As a soldier, we ask every soldier to do that. It is easy to think I will do anything, including give my life for somebody I love. For a stranger, put some question marks. What about somebody you don't like? That's what ultimate love about. Like, I don't know about that. Honesty, I love my soldiers. There was times I didn't like them. I used to joke with them. It's like, yeah, I don't like you very much, but I love them. And I knew in my heart that I would give my life for them if I have to. I knew in my heart that I trusted them with my life every single day. I love them, like them, maybe not so much. But we're human. We're meant to be okay with ourselves. We're meant to be okay with this, emotions. So week 2 is all about loving others. What does it mean to love others? For all of you guys in relationship with other people, regardless of relationship, that love is always tested. That love is always challenged because people are going to be people and do things that's going to drive us nuts. We're people. We do things that drive other people insane. Trust me. I'm that kid. My brother says it all the time. You're intense. And I know I have that personality. 90% of the time I need to tone it down because it can be too much. I'm the personality that is not lukewarm. You're either going to love me, you're going to hate me because I will drive you insane. That's just the nature. So I have to make conscious decisions to be a little bit low. Week 3, and this is a week that my girl has struggled, is loving yourself. How do you love yourself? So the Bible says, love your enemies like you love yourself. That's one of those quotes. Here's the problem. If you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. I usually, the golden rule is like, treat me like you would like to be treated. I tell people I would like you to treat me a little bit better because I see how you treat yourself. How do you treat yourself? Do you love yourself? So as I was going through this devotional, and as I want to leave from the front, I want to tell you guys that if I'm asking you to do something, it's because I'm going to do it with you. If I'm asking you to believe, it's because I'm believing with you. If I'm going to ask you to take a leap of faith, trust me, I'm either holding your hand or we're going to jump together because we're going to do this. One of the things it talks about is loving yourself, loving your body, and loving everything you do. So because of that, I went ahead and got a personal trainer. And I told you guys last time we talked, Sandy's Pace is whooping me into shape, to include the fact that I didn't think my diet was that bad. She corrected that very quickly. So I wanted to love myself, which meant I needed to love my body and I needed to be good and I needed to make sure, do I eat right? Truly. According to Sandy, I don't get enough protein. We have figured out I don't get enough protein. It happens. But I wanted to be good to myself. I wanted to be able to show you as we embark on this insane journey that life is meant to be good, that life is meant to be amazing, that life is meant to be lived to your full potential. Week 4, my friends, is where we wrap it all up, and it talks about that unconditional love. It truly challenges our beliefs that we can love like the Lord and find that peace. Because here's the part. If you read the Old Testament, God was a bit angry. Let's be honest. He was a tad bit angry with his people and they didn't listen. The New Testament, God is a lot more loving. That's why Jesus came. He's a lot more patient than you can possibly imagine because he continues to forgive his people. He continues to have faith in them. And to this day, those covenant that he made with his people are still with us. So if you are a Christian, you still have the same covenant. If you're a believer and you believe in a higher power, he still loves you or she loves you. Whichever way you want to look at it, whichever conversations you have with your maker, with your believer, with the universe. At the end of the day, I want you to know you're perfect. You are not a mistake. You are not placed on this planet by accident. It is impossible to honestly, as a human being, be an accident. Do you know how hard it is for some people to get pregnant? Do you understand how complicated our entire body is? Science, and all its amazing, insights, knows what less than 10-20% of what our brains can do. If we honestly had to think about breathing and running our entire body, we would die. Let's be honest. If I had to be responsible for actually reminding myself to breathe, this little girl would be passed out somewhere in a corner. It's not going to happen. We are, and you, my friends, are an amazing, beautiful creation. You are perfection. You are made in the image of amazing. That each one of us is different is a beautiful and incredible thing. We're all here with special talents. We all have the abilities that we need to experience life to the fullest of what we're here to experience. So whichever way your spirituality takes you, whichever way that belief takes you, that you are either, you believe in reincarnation, you believe you are having to express yourself, you're here to be the hands and feet of God, whichever way you want to take it, you're not an accident. You are not here because nothing better was happening in the universe that day. No, my friends. You're here because you're loved. You're here because you're perfect. You're perfect right now. Not when you lose 20 pounds. Not when you finish college. Not when your kids graduate. No, you are perfect right now. So embrace that perfection. Embrace your happiness and know that you are meant for greatness, my friends. And greatness is for you. It's for you to define it. It's for you to define success. It's for you to define your happiness. It's for you to live in that moment and to know that you're meant to live that moment, because I believe in you. I am so excited, my friends, that you have joined me on a beautiful Saturday morning and live from East Texas to have some fun and to you indulge me in telling you about these books. Because at the end of the day, my goal was to create a collection that you can take with you, that you can share with a friend, that you can tell them, hey, I have something that I want to give you because I truly believe you're amazing, because I love you, and because I want you to live your best life now. That's my goal for every single person. That is my goal for you, my friends. Dare to Love is out. I think I put the links in the comments. So go ahead if you want it. It's out in ebook. It's out in print. All 3 of these devotionals are available that way. I'm probably, because I just thought about it, so I'm giving you tips. I'm probably going to put this collection all in one book. So probably, because if I can do that, I might do a hard copy. So it's just giving you a heads up. I'll have to make some calls, probably to a whole bunch of editors and formatters, but it happens. So I might do that. I might give you guys all 3 in one book. So I'll let you know how it goes before the end of the year. So I'll keep that in mind. In the meantime, my friends, it has been such an honor, such a pleasure to hang out with you guys this morning. We will be back in 2 weeks. I am heading to Houston next week. So I'm hoping to have some awesome pictures. So check out the page to get an update on what's happening in Comic Palooza. It is a major event. I am excited, which means convention is happening. It is the first major event of the convention season. I have some awesome bookwear to rock. So you're in Houston or you're in the area, swing by and see me. I'm in booth 1626. It's going to be fabulous. I have some amazing things, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. I have an awesome guest that is going to leave you inspired. Mr. Rob Hiller is going to join us. He is a cancer survivor, and he has single-handedly one of those stories that's just going to leave you weeping. So I'm going to try not to cry when we talk to Rob, because I always do. And he's going to leave you super motivated. So I'll be back in 2 weeks. It's going to be fabulous. For those of you guys are wondering, DC, what else are you up to? Let me tell you, my friends, I am doing a Patreon drive all the way up to July 24th, because I have some awesome Reapers bags that I want to give away if you join the Patreon community. So basically, are you enjoying the podcast? Are you enjoying this series with me? Are you enjoying my books? All of them, because I have some amazing things to tell you by the end of the year. Cross your fingers, you're gonna love it. But if you're enjoying everything we're putting together, if you're enjoying this community of love and understanding and positivity, join my Patreon account. Help me to continue to create these amazing programs and kind of bring them to you guys. Your support makes all these things happening. You guys are helping to buy covers. You guys help to create amazing platforms for authors to come up, as well as to continue to give you guys back. So interested, the link is on the comments, because I think I did actually put that there. So you can get the books, you can join the Patreon account, you can continue to give us some love and some support. So my friends, today, Saturday, go have an amazing day. Take yourself on a date. Go ahead. Enjoy yourself. Remind yourself that you're loving. Remind yourself that you're special. Remind yourself that you are meant for greatness. And if you need somebody to remind you, you are amazing. And I'm here to tell you, my friends, go have a great day, because I love you guys. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Check the page for amazing things happening. And I can't wait to tell you guys how everything went. So many, many blessings, and I'll see you guys again. Bye.